Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Xillia. In the last episode, we went to Labari Hollow, and we found out some very grim details about Elise's past. And we found Tipo, but Tipo's not in the greatest of shapes right now. Our next objective is to find Jurgen. We are going to talk to him about getting onto the wyverns now that we've done what he essentially asked us to do. We won the finals. Everything should be cleared up now here in Shandu. But first, this episode is going to be mostly side quests, unfortunately. There are a bunch of side quests that open up to us at this point. The first side quest is if you come up here and you enter this residence over here on this side of Shandu.
Who's this?
My mother. She's not doing too well. I don't have a father or any siblings, so I have Violet look after her when I'm not around.
Well, hello.
Hi.
It's nice to see you, Balin. Slipped out of your house to come play, did you? What a shame that Alfred isn't here to play with you now. Where did that boy go off to?
What is she talking about?
Leticia, Alfred's away at boarding school, remember?
Oh, yes, that's right. That poor boy must be crying his eyes out. He's so shy, and he always gets so lonely.
Don't worry. He sent a letter saying he's fine.
Oh, yes, and that he'll come home for his next break. I promised we'd take a trip on the big boat when he does.
I know. Alfred said he can't wait to go.
You know what he said in his letter? He said he hoped that I wasn't crying. Isn't that funny? He's such a kind, thoughtful boy.
Being away from our hometown has been tough on her. And my dad dying didn't help. All she talked about was how she wanted to go back home to the house we all lived in. Maybe she's happier now that she's forgotten all about that life.
Oh.
You've been doing all this for your mother?
Yep. All these dirty jobs, it was all for Mommy. Touching tale, isn't it?
Alvin, you don't have to be like this.
Spare me your sympathy. It's all rotten in the end. It's enough to drive me crazy myself.
Excuse me.
Got something to say?
Listen. You know that I was an orphan too, right? If I hadn't gotten involved in that line of work, I never would have survived my childhood.
In other words, don't say anything to Jurgen.
Also, I don't want to look after Leticia anymore. And I want you to tell Exodus to leave me alone.
I'm afraid I can't do that. Only Exodus can make the medicine my mother needs. And you're the only doctor shady enough to prescribe it.
I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go straight.
Sorry. But I think it's a fair price for keeping my mouth shut.
How could you? All I want is to live happily with Jurgen.
And you can. As long as he doesn't find out about your past. All done.
But she's crying.
Yeah, she's a big old crybaby.
We're just gonna leave her like that?
If you're so worried, go console her. Comfort the poor, tragic princess.
That side quest was called Mother and Child. We actually can go ahead and activate another little cutscene revolving around this. If you come up here and you go ahead and talk to Alvin's mom, a cutscene will activate.
Mom, I'm home.
Oh no, I dozed off again. I have to make a peach pie before Alfred gets back from boarding school. He'll be home any minute. That boy just loves it, you know. Every time I make it, he eats himself sick.
Is that right?
Of course, he's always been such a sensitive boy. It doesn't take much to upset his stomach. Honestly, it makes me worry for his future. Thinking about it gives me an upset stomach.
Sounds like he takes after you.
Oh, and he told me in his last letter that he started keeping kitty cats as pets. I believe he said their names were Jude and Milla. That poor boy. He must be so lonely. But cats are a big responsibility.
Don't worry. I hear he's taking good care of them.
Oh, good. It's hard not being able to see him, but what can you do? This was Alfred's decision, after all. As long as he's well, that's all that matters. I mean that, okay?
Yes, I know.
And that was a continuation of the Mother and Child quest. If you come over here and talk to her, she goes, Alfred. Now, inside Leticius's room, if you come over here and you investigate the stove, you'll find another mysterious jewel. Those are, like I said before, we need about 23. We need 23 of those in order to do the big side quest at the end of the game. We've gotten a majority of them already. But anyways, that side quest was Mother and Child. You can continue that quest very late game, so we will be concluding that much later. Now, if we come up all the way up here,
No sign of Jurgen.
I hope Elise is okay.
Something has been troubling me about these booster devices. Do you remember the experiment Noctigal was conducting at Fort Gandala? Might that have been a test of the booster's capabilities?
You're suggesting Rashagal already has booster technology as well.
That would be a logical conclusion.
That's not good. Even kids like Elise are strong if they have boosters.
If both countries were to wage war with booster-equipped soldiers, it would be a catastrophe unlike any the world has ever seen.
Would they really risk having such a destructive war?
Noctigal might. He seems convinced that he could actually win.
Especially since he has the Lance of Kresnik.
Oh, here you are. Isla told me you were back in town. I'm so relieved to find you safe.
Thanks.
Are the wyverns you promised us ready to ride yet?
Yes, but there's a hitch. Now that we're on the brink of war, we can't fly the wyverns without royal permission. For that, I'll need to head to the capital, Kanbalar.
Hey, maybe we should warn the King of Azul how ugly things will get if war breaks out.
The king does seem pretty popular. Do you think maybe he'd fight alongside us?
Whoa, hold on. This is a war we're talking about here, not a tavern brawl.
I'd like a face-to-face chat with the king myself, but for a different reason. I want to ask him for the truth behind the laboratory. It's crucial that we meet the King of Azul. We'll head for Kanbalar right away.
Okay. I'll get my things together.
What does Milla mean by the truth behind the laboratory?
Apparently, Elise wasn't the only kid they kept at that place. Lots of other children were brought there too.
Did Zhao tell you that?
If the king truly wishes to protect his people, he'll give me the answer I seek. If he gives me the wrong answer, I'll remind him of his duty. I'll make him swear to never resort to such methods again, by any means necessary.
Good idea. Let's go pick the king's brain. Oh, I just remembered. All our luggage is back at the inn.
Let us go fetch it.
I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Alvin. You did well back there. I knew I could trust you to protect Elise for us.
Well, I was prepared to honor my promise. Keep the faith, O hallowed spirit.
Never a dull moment with that guy.
Soon enough, I'll have to prepare myself too.
Huh?
I am strong enough to destroy the Lance of Kresnik as I am now, without the Force power.
Wait, you sure it's a good idea to destroy it with the 4 great spirits still trapped inside?
They would likely not survive. They would lose their forms and disintegrate.
But I thought the 4 great spirits couldn't die.
Eventually, new great spirits will appear to take their place. But they will be a different 4, with different wills.
So that means the 4 great spirits that you know, the ones that were always with you, they would just disappear?
A spirit's personality and memories are unimportant. What matters is a spirit's existence itself. Still, I doubt the 4 will forgive me for this.
You really care about all spirits, don't you? Not just the great 4, but the lesser spirits too.
Not just spirits, humans as well. To me, all lives, human and spirit, are equal and precious.
Let's head for Kanbalar.
So our next destination is Kanbalar. But first, let's go ahead and listen to this skit. Exodus's Shadow.
It seems that Exodus has slipped through our fingers.
There's nothing we can do about that now. They must be as desperate as we are, given their behavior.
And what do you intend to do about Alvin?
If we send him away, he'll only follow us. And we can't neutralize him by force without risking our own lives. Therefore, the safest solution is to keep him where we can see him. Besides, for good or for ill, that man has the power to change the circumstances of any situation. That is not a power to be dismissed lightly.
Nor is the wisdom of the Lord of Spirits.
But now our next destination is to go to Kanbalar. But now we have a sub-quest open up to us. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
Do you ever think about Niakara?
Ivor will protect it in my absence. There's no need to worry about the village's safety.
Oh, I wasn't asking about that. What I meant is, do you ever get homesick?
Oh. Sometimes I do miss the purity of Niakara air.
Well, if you ever want to go back, just say the word.
But now we have side quests open to us that we're going to be doing. There are a lot of side quests that are open right now. The first and foremost we need to do right now is we need to go to the inn. Side quest will open as soon as we get here.
You don't look so good. Maybe we should take a few days off.
No, we can't afford to do that.
Ooh, ow! Such agony. I think I just threw out my back again.
Oh no! My, acute hiccup disorder. It's totally flaring up.
That sounds pretty serious. You two need to get some rest.
Please!
Yes, please. Ow, ow, ow!
Very well. I'd hoped to get an early start tomorrow, but I guess we can push our departure back a bit.
Does your asperixis still hurt?
No, not as much as before.
Before? Before it was so bad that you passed out from the pain.
Without the asperixis, I wouldn't be able to stand, let alone walk and fight. To me, there is no greater pain than having something to do and being unable to do it. Thanks to this, I can do what I have to. The pain is a small price to pay.
How's Milla doing?
She's pushing herself too hard.
Milla's so composed that it's easy to forget sometimes. But the fact is, she's making a difficult journey after suffering a terribly debilitating injury.
And taking it easy doesn't seem to be in her vocabulary.
If only there was some way to alleviate her pain. Even just a little.
If only we had a heart herb.
Oh, of course. Heart herbs are renowned for their ability to relieve pain.
Yeah, I learned about them in my pharmacology class. When used in aromatherapy, they're supposed to ease the tension in both body and mind.
They're also rare, bordering on extinction. I wanted to get a heart herb for a special lady once, but I couldn't find one anywhere.
I'm sure it won't be easy to find, but I want to try, for Milla's sake.
That side quest, we need to find a heart herb in order to heal Milla. And I'll get into more later, but now we need to continue on the history of Xillia by talking to Carla here at the end.
Sorry, I wasn't able to speak with you earlier. I'm Carla Outway. It's lovely to meet you.
I'm Milla.
Rowan, a pleasure to meet you.
Carla's a historian and a teacher.
That's very admirable of you.
Not at all. And how about you? You won the tournament, right? That makes Elise one of the youngest winners ever.
Really?
Remember what I told you about Master Hemming? He won his first tournament when he was 14. And until Elise showed up, his record was never officially broken.
And what about unofficially?
An astute question. Unofficially, the youngest person to win the tournament did so at 12, the same age as Elise. He was a young boy who fought his way to the final match alone without even using a Lilium orb.
Are you sure he wasn't a spirit?
No, of course he wasn't. His name was Erston Outway.
Erston Outway? Is he related to you?
My brother. This happened 20 years ago.
But why wasn't his victory officially recognized?
Our father was the chief of the Outway tribe. But we were a small tribe, and the other tribes used their influence to change things the way they saw fit. That's just how it was back then.
So you're saying his win was taken away?
Yes, it was his opponent's doing. He belonged to a tribe that was very close to the king.
20 years ago. That would place it before the dawn of Azure. Before the current king took the throne, the chiefs of several large tribes ruled alongside his predecessor.
Many people were killed back then, but our current king put a stop to that.
I see.
Anyway, I have an important errand to run. See you all again soon.
Imagine having a hard-fought victory erased like that. I wonder how Carla's brother felt.
I used to be quite a martial artist myself. I defended my position as the army's second strongest fighter throughout my military career. If it were me who was robbed like that, I'd have hunted down my opponent and thrashed him again when no one was looking.
Rowan, you play pretty dirty.
So what would you do in that situation?
Me? I can't even imagine.
Alright, well, now that was a continuation of the history of Azul. Like I said, that is going to be a very missable side quest, so we're on step 3 of 4 in order to finish that side quest. Now, what we're doing right now is we're going back to Labari Hollow. Labari Hollow, actually, no, we're going back to Lakutum. I'm sorry about that. I honestly forgot what I was doing on screen here. What we're doing right now is we're going to go ahead and turn in the top knot to the top knot master. So let's go ahead and do so. He says, "This is beyond my wildest expectations. Haha, I see there's still much talent in the world of top knots left to be explored. You have proven yourself worthy of receiving my life's work, the ultimate top knot. I present to you the Mo Top Knot." And we get an accessory, the Mo Top Knot. That's pretty much that end of that side quest. Now, back to the side quest with Milla and the Heart Herb. They say that that's rare, but on our way to Kanbalar, we're going to be finding it. So that's going to be something we'll find out later. But anyways, we're going back to Labari Hollow. And if you go all the way down to the bottom here in Labari Hollow, I went ahead and cut out everything. A cutscene will activate.
This is where the old booster research lab was located.
There used to be several buildings here, but they've all been torn down. That was probably my fault. They abandoned this place after I infiltrated it.
Is that all you did?
Hey, this is me you're talking to. The client got way more than their money's worth.
So you managed to smuggle out information about the boosters?
Not just information, an actual prototype. Couldn't get my hands on one of those 3rd-gen models, though.
You mean Tipo?
I'd say it was a dirty trick. Who'd have thought they'd hide their top-secret device in some children's toy? When I found its blueprints, I threw them away. It looked like someone scribbled gibberish. You can imagine my surprise when I first saw Elise and Tipo and Hamil.
So you knew who they were all along?
Come on, don't get upset. My booster job was long done by then. No conflict there.
That's not the issue here.
Apparently not. What is the issue here?
Let's change the subject. What exactly was your job at the time?
Kinda feel like I'm being interrogated.
We'd just like to know you better.
Fine, fine. At the time, I was working as your escort. You're the one who hired me, remember? Come on, don't look at me like that. Hey, I'm a professional here. I take the work, I do a good job, and I move on. How did that become a strike against me?
But you actually you have to access to that side quest immediately after you complete Labari Hollow the first time, and you activate the cutscene when you come back to Shandu. So that's pretty much how you activate that side quest. And that one's missable too, so don't forget to do it as soon as you finish it. So as of right now, we're going back to Shandu. We've got a couple more side quests that are open to us, and we're gonna go do that. Like I said, pretty much the remainder of this is side quests. Now, if you come to the Coliseum, there's going to be 2 in particular that's available here. So, what we need to do is we need to come up here, and you'll see this guy with the exclamation mark. Let's go ahead and talk to him. He says, "I need to ask you a favor of you. Do you think you could help me acquire a mysterious bead?" I was like, okay, we'll go ahead and do that. We already have one in our possession. I need them to make a secret Kataro clan medicine. And the kind I need to make it soon. So he needs to make it pronto. We have a mysterious bead in our possession, and I'm pretty sure anybody who's playing at this point will have it. So go ahead and talk to him. He says, "Yep, that's the mysterious bead I need. Now I can make that medicine." What kind of medicine is it? If it's a Kataro clan secret, it probably cures some sort of monster disease, right? Actually, it's the other way around. Its purpose is to kill a monster instantly. A poison? You said it was medicine. Why would you do such a thing? It's not because we want to. But even we Kataro can't cure every monster. Which reminds me of something I read once. That if a wyvern breaks a wing, it will never fly again. It will suffer pain until it dies. In such cases, all we could do is give them a way to end their lives painlessly. I guess I can understand that. Sorry to kill the mood like that. But thanks to you, a monster will no longer have to suffer in pain every day. And we won't have to suffer the pain of watching its torment. Honestly, in my opinion, that is the most humane thing you can do. So I'm really kind of glad that we did help him. Now, if we come up here and talk to this lady up here, she'll ask us to enter. We have access to the Coliseum, so we can go and do Coliseum fights. But I'm gonna wait until late game to do this because a lot of stuff will be activated at late game. So we'll be doing all that in one video. But anyways, let's go up and talk to this guy. Oh, you must be the Kataro clan champions. You have my deepest sympathies. I wish there was something I could say to make this easier for you. Make it easier for us? We won, right? You mean you haven't heard? I'm so sorry you have to hear it like this, but the final match was scheduled to be one-on-one duel. And because of everything that happened, I'm afraid the judges ruled it to be invalid. What? But they broke the rules first. We were only defending Milla. Yes, I know. That's why your team's violation of the rules was overlooked. I should hope so. Come on, Milla gave him a piece of your mind. I don't particularly care. We failed to round up the Exodus members, but we largely accomplished our goal. Plus, I was able to test the extent of my power. Are you sure about this, Milla? I mean, you put your life on the line. I don't particularly care. But I do have one question. Our opponents and the tournament organizers were colluding with some other group, right? I'm afraid that's true. They were the ones who arranged to have the rules changed, and those strange weapons smuggled into the arena. When I found out, I tried to have them arrested, but they got away. I knew Exodus had to be involved. Indeed, it's good to know that for sure. So everything that happened was their fault, and there was no one, and we're the ones getting disqualified. No way! Please understand, this tournament's a long and hollow tradition. We can't allow this disgrace to become public. So you announced that the match ended in disqualification, and everything will be covered up. That's the adult world for you. In exchange, we have more than happy to give you the top seed in the next tournament. If you like, we can even provide you with information about your opponents. I'll pass. I don't intend to risk my life for a trophy. He's not having a very good day, is he? Anyways, that was that quest. Like I said before, there's a lot of quests that are activated right now. Now, our next quest that we're going to be doing, I'm going to go ahead and make a little cut here in the next few minutes, and in a few seconds. But what we're doing right now is we're going to be going back to the boat that led us to Xagut Flood Meadow. If you come over here, we have to actually go back to Neokara based on that subquest skit that activated earlier, where they talked about Neokara. We're actually going to go ahead and travel back to Neokara. I know I can fast travel, but we're going through Zagat Flood Meadow because there are some stuff we need to actually go and pick up. Stuff like Ifrit's treasures and whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and take this time to go ahead and pick those up while we're doing this. But anyways, we have another skit here now that I've come to think of it. It says, Tipo and the 4 Great Spirits.
You told me that normally the 4 Great Spirits follow you everywhere. Is that for real?
Yes, but...
No way! So how does it feel to command them?
I'm not sure how to answer that. They've always been with me, so it just feels... normal.
They're always with you, huh? So I guess it's like Elise and Tipo.
Interesting. So Elise may feel the same way about Tipo as I feel about the 4. When you put it that way, the way I've treated her seems quite insensitive.
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing. I can't afford to get swept up in sentiment at a time like this.
But now, I want to kind of apologize if I sound still a little bit groggy. I said in the last episode that I was feeling better. Well, unfortunately, the day after that, I became ill again, and I'm sorry about that. But here's our first Ifrit's treasure. It holds 10,000 gold, and it's right here at the very beginning of the Zagat Flood Meadow. So, if you want to pick that up, you want to go ahead and do so. And like I said, I'm sorry if I still sound a little groggy. I'm really getting over it this time. I feel a lot better. I'm not coughing as much. But as soon as I recorded that episode, I started to feel ill again, and that's why there was a delay in the recordings and everything. But anyways, we're going through Zagat, and like I said before, we're gonna go through here, and we actually got another skid here, ambidextrous.
I'm impressed with your ability to handle a different weapon in each hand.
When I was a kid, I was left-handed, so I worked at strengthening my right arm instead.
That shows good combat sense. I imagine you needed special training to learn how to wield a sword with your offhand.
That must have been tough.
No, it had nothing to do with combat, just part of my daily life. You know me, always a girl on each arm. And it would be rude to handle each of them differently.
What? And here I was starting to respect you. I'm leaving.
Are 2 arms even enough for you?
With a woman of your stature, maybe not.
Good. I'd hate for you to think that you can handle me with just 1.
Luckily, when I activated that skit, that guy wasn't gonna attack me. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this battle out because we've already seen some of these guys, and I don't really want to waste any time because there's a lot of stuff we need to cover in this episode. And like I said before, I'm really sorry if these episodes get really long, but I want to try to make as much content in one episode as I can, so that way we're not stuck on this LP for a long time. But anyways, we're going into the next area of Zagat, and like I said before, these monsters are really high level, so be careful about that. One thing I will make note of when you're going through Zagat here, there is a devil beast in this area. So if you see a monster that looks like a tiger, do not fight it. Do not fight it until at least endgame. We're going to be taking care of those guys at a much later date, so don't worry about it for right now. But if you see a tiger-like enemy, like a big old tiger, do not, I repeat, do not take it on unless you're playing New Game Plus and you're like really high level. But that's the only little tip I can really do. But other than that, I would honestly avoid as many fights as I can here because the boars, all the other enemies, everything else is around borderline level 40, and we're like early 30s. So they're a little bit too much for us. But one thing in particular, this place scared the living daylights out of me when I first played because I went this way out of Niakara when I first played. I went down this path because you can actually go down this path when you're near Niakara, and holy cow is it scary because when you first come in there, that's the first enemy you fight and it whoops you. Because when you go to Niakara for the first time, you're like level 12. It's ridiculous. But anyways, there is actually like a high-leveled enemy there, and I was able to beat it. I was really surprised. I got a lot of experience points for that. There was like 2 in a row right there. You actually get one thing I forgot to mention. If you're working on the Rare Monsters title, that's a good way to get rare monsters. Rare monsters are pretty much, you know, the Bakoras and all that other stuff, but they're also the enemies that have the exclamation mark above their head, the high-level monsters. If you fight one, they count towards your title for rare monsters. So that's a little tidbit if you want to hear about that. But pretty much I'm gathering all the items that I can here, along with the ivory treasures and materials and stuff like that. I'm trying to find my way, which way you're supposed to go.
Oh, I gotta focus so I don't slip and fall.
But you're floating.
I forgot about that conversation, and I was really trying hard not to laugh, because, yeah, Tipo, you're floating. Why? Why are you worried about falling down? there's a couple in-game dialogues like that'll happen where Tipo's like saying, "Oh, I better be careful not to fall down," and the Milla's like, "But you're floating." But if you went the other way on the map, like I said, you see that little patch right there that you go from the other side? That is where the big devil's beast is. So I went and completely avoided that because I do not want to run into it. So we're going the other way. I'm also I'm looking at a map right now because I'm trying to remember where the ivory treasure is. But there's another hole. Let's go head through here. And open this treasure chest up, and it had 5,000 gold in it. We're doing very good. But yeah, like I said before, I'm really sorry about the lack of uploads for the past couple weeks. I was really suffering from being sick with a cold, like pneumonia-like symptoms. It was really bad, and I just didn't feel like recording while I was sick, obviously, because I shouldn't have to record while I'm sick, honestly. I've recorded when I was sick. Before, like, there's been a couple, like, Red Dead Redemption episodes that I recorded when I was sick, and I look back at those now and I'm just like, why didn't I record when I was sick? I sound disgusting, really. But anyways, I'm sorry about that. It's just like, I know people want to watch the rest of this stuff, and I'm sorry if I really have been kind of just like not churning out Tales of Xillia videos as much as I want to. And hopefully that'll change soon. I've already gotten a bunch of the LP already recorded. We just have to do commentary on them. But anyways, I did, my birthday was last week. Before I go into there, there's the other ivory treasure. We get a black dog's muzzle. It's right there. But anyways, my birthday was last week, and I was kind of sick on my birthday, and I hate being sick on my birthday. It's like that every year too. I always come down with some sort of cold around my birthday, and it's mostly because, well, temperature changes and everything, and summer starts coming, and then I start not feeling good. But if you saw that clip that I was just looking at, if I glanced at it, that was the cliff that the Devil's Beast is on. You have to come in from the other angle in order to fight him. So if you want to know where he's at, he was up there. But anyways, we're going into, I think this is where this is the south region of the Zagat. Okay.
Watch your feet, everyone. One false step could lead to a nasty fall.
I'm more worried about you, old-timer.
Poor Rowan. He's like, I'm more worried about you, old-timer. Don't fall down and break your hip, Rowan. It's funny because even though Rowan is an elderly man, he's not really that... He doesn't really seem like he's that old. You know what I mean? He seems like he's in his 50s, early 60s. I think that's really his age, if I remember correctly. But, I mean, he still would be a little bit fragile because he's getting up there in age, but I wouldn't say he's, like, so bad that he would fall down and break his hip, you know, kind of thing. But, anyways, here's another treasure chest, and inside is more lavender. We've been actually kind of getting a lot of stat increasing items. And like I said, I won't be using those until pretty much the end of the game, because that's kind of what I like to do when I play RPGs. And I got encounter linked. I think I ran away from that fight because it was just too much for me. Yeah, I did. Because as you see, Jude actually died. Oh gosh, I hate that. These monsters are really, really, really strong, and they're really mean. But I'm trying to heal everybody so that way I won't have to run into that predicament again. So I'm going to be pretty much avoiding all the enemies for the rest of this. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be saying there. But I think that's pretty much all the items there. So now we can go ahead and go on to Neokara. So this would be the other end of Neokara. So now let's go ahead and go back into it. Now, what we're doing right here is there's a sub-skit here, and it's very missable because when I first played this is the only side quest that I missed in the entire game when I had a guide open with me. This is the conclusion to Milla's Pendants quest. We started that in Lakutum High Road, or Lakutum Sea Haven, I'm sorry. We started that whenever Jude looked at Milla's Pendant. But if you see there, Ivor is talking to two people. And this sub-quest is different in both Jude and Milla's story. We need to I'm going to be showing off both footage from both stories. Actually right here, I completely missed them. I did not even see them. I thought that they were here, and I was like, I don't understand what I was doing here, because I thought I saw them, but I didn't see them. I was like, Matt, they're right there. Right there, go to the side quest, is right there. Don't go that way, and I went that way. Now looking back at it. But this side quest is different from Jude and Milla's story. Jude's story, if you activate this, you just get one cutscene, that's it. Milla's, there's a little bit more meat.
If you'll excuse me, I think nature is calling.
Yuck. Thanks for the heads up. No need to keep us posted.
Lady Milla, welcome home. Your timing is impeccable.
Oh, wow. It really is Lord Maxwell.
I knew it the second I laid eyes on her.
Who are these people?
They came here looking for you. They claim to be acquaintances of yours.
Don't you remember us? We all played together when we were children.
Oh, of course I remember.
Are they the ones that gave you the glass bead?
That's right. We heard rumors of a village that worshipped Maxwell, and we came to see ourselves.
We really wanted to see you again.
Now that I think about it, I do recognize your faces. It was so good of you to come.
I'm pleased as well. Lady Milla doesn't get nearly as many worshippers as she deserves.
You guys should catch up. We can entertain ourselves for a while.
But
that would be great.
Maybe we could chat about the old days, for old time's sake.
Go for it.
Very well then. Come, let us talk at my shrine. I never thought I would get to see you two again.
I know. We didn't realize that you were actually the real Maxwell.
Who would have thought that the little girl we played with that day would become our sworn enemy?
Exodus? So you two were...
Yes, the Children of Exodus members.
The only survivors from the Exodus primary base that you so viciously destroyed that day.
If our parents hadn't sent us out on an errand, we'd have been killed too.
Is that right? Yes. I suppose it was while I had the 4 hunting down survivors that I met the two of you.
To think that we were playing with the monster that murdered our families.
Maxwell, you're going to pay dearly for what you did to our brethren that day.
Allow me, Lord Maxwell.
Alvin.
What? Why are you helping her?
What kind of bodyguard fails to protect his client?
Kill them all! Set your Spyrexes to full power!
But yes, this fight is exclusive only in Milla's story. So if you're playing Jude's story, you don't play this. Little fun fact here, when I was recording this, I missed this the first time to record it, so I had to play through the game again just to record this footage for you guys. But yeah, it's just simple. You have to fight some Exodus agents. You only have Alvin and Milla to fight. But it's just a simple fight. And that's the end of Milla's Pendant's quest.
Thank you.
Hey, I've got to do something to earn my keep.
How did I fail to realize until now? The members of Exodus are humans too.
Of course they are. What, did you think they were monsters or something?
No. Deep down I knew. But I cannot spare any who would use a Spyrex, no matter what or who they may be.
Come on, let's get out of here. Everyone's waiting for you in Niakara.
Wow, you really do keep this place tidy. What would you charge to clean my room?
It's all part of a handmaid's duties. And now I'll show you how a handmaid makes tea. It'll be just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks, but you really don't need to. Oh, hi Milla. Back so soon?
Yes, we said all we had to say.
Don't tell me they confessed their true feelings for you.
In fact, they did.
Really?
Wait, hold on.
Don't worry, my path has not changed.
Yeah, I trust you.
All right, back to it then.
All right, twerps. Soon you'll be feasting your lips on the greatest tea you've ever tasted. And you'd better appreciate it, because... Huh? Where'd they go? Ah, all that premium tea wasted. This is going on your list of crimes, phony!
But yeah, if you were playing Jude's story, that last cutscene would be the only cutscene you see for the rest of this side quest. I know it's kind of lame, but honestly, like, that's the only main draw to an exclusive content for a certain side quest and variant on what story you're playing. But anyways, we're going back to Shandu, and I know we did a lot of side quest stuff today, but I promise we will be doing more story related stuff in the next episode. I know that this episode went on really long. I was just trying to get up all the side quests that I can in this episode, so that way we can get that all covered. But hopefully now everybody should be caught up. So our next destination is to go to Kanbalar, which is the city up north. Now, in order to do so, we have to go through this big old tunnel in the middle of Shandu. If we come through here, we'll be able to gain access to Kanbalar. Kanbalar will be past the high road that we have to cross. Beyond that high road, we can actually grab a heart herb that we can use for the side quest that we saw at the beginning of this episode. But first, we're going to go ahead and take a quick pit stop here. I'm going to go ahead and level up my characters while we're sitting here, before we end the episode. I got a couple levels from the Xagut Flood Meadows, especially from those big old high-leveled enemies. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to level up here. We're all level 30. Like I said before, those monsters were like level 40. We're level 40 right now. So I think Rowan was the only one that got a level up from that. Yeah, Rowan was the only one that got a level up from that. I was just trying to check and see if everything was alright. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next episode of Let's Play Tales of Xillia. See you guys later.